Welcome to Inspiring You. If we haven't met, I'm Henry. So, as many of you know, I love learning. And even though I may not always understand something, sometimes I'm guided to something for my human experience, and I may not fully have the full consciousness of the wisdom on it till much later. And that's how I feel like in relationship with mindfulness meditation and the benefits, the many benefits of it. So, years and years and years ago, I had already been doing various types of meditation. I had been doing energy work, and the guides guided me to take mindfulness meditation classes. And it was really interesting. So, out of all the meditation styles, I will say that mindfulness meditation at first, in my human experience, was one that I least liked at first. It felt very slow. And I also didn't understand why I couldn't just do chanting meditation, the energy meditations. And now, all these years later, more wisdom has come in. And I have this moment of like, oh, I know why my higher self soul and team of light guided my human there. Because also within this, I love learning. So I'm very curious and really being in that growth wise mindset. I love researching. I love reading books. I love reading different scientific articles. I love science. I actually love science. And I love that aspect of learning. So anyway, I lately in the last I don't know, maybe 3, 4 years, I have been really learning and researching brain and gut health in a whole different way. And so the guides will download information. They will give me information on things. And then from there, my human is like, oh, I want to learn more. I want to understand where we are in the human aspect of it, because there might be light information from the guides, but in our physical reality, we may not be where in the it may not have come it might have not have come fully through in physical reality. And so you can look at it as like, many years ago, before we actually had telephones, our phones, there might have been an idea of a phone, but then it wasn't until it came into physical reality as a physical creation. And so many people may have gotten that idea, that energetic, light information, but it wasn't then, until finally it was brought through in physical reality. And then obviously we've seen the progression and the evolving of the phone. So that's much like also in regard to our physical health, right? So I've been researching, the mind, the brain, and all other aspects of it. And what's interesting is with the brain and understanding the cognitive aspect of it, with the mind, the brain, now in a whole greater way, I have an appreciation and gratitude of why the guides all those years ago really encouraged me to take mindfulness meditation. And I was taking these courses during working in television too. So I was taking 6 week, 8 week classes and going on weekend retreats if I could. And, really just understanding mindfulness. And then at some point I was also guided to become a mindfulness meditation teacher. But like I said, it wasn't like, okay, it wasn't like, when I was 5 years old and the guides had told me one day I was going to, gave me the understanding and the knowingness of my divine design, my divine blueprint, that I was going to be, going and moving from Massachusetts to California to work in television. That when I was in that moment, it was like the knowingness. I was like in the knowingness and it felt so amazing. I was excited, and I had already loved television and just, stories. So I was so excited. But I felt differently about mindfulness meditation. And I'll say, though, they're both equally as beneficial for my human, because now I get with mindfulness meditation in studying the brain, y'all, mindfulness meditation is good for the brain. It is good for us. So, in researching the cognitive aspects of it, let's talk about the brain. In our intricate neural theater, there is something that science has brought forward in research that is called attentional blinks. So, attentional blinks take center stage, a phenomenon that reveals the brain's delicate choreography. So, picture this: the spotlight shifts slowly from one stimulus to another, leaving a brief intermission, a blink, where there is a tiny gap. So, when you shift your focus from one thing to another, a tiny gap in attention called attentional blink is created. It only lasts for about a half a second. So we may barely notice it. And y'all, when I heard this, I was like, wow, that is interesting how the human operates and how much is still unknown and we are learning here. So that's where then, curiosity comes in, where we're really allowing ourselves to learn, grow, and evolve. And also with that, when we have that information, this is where you can ask to, receive downloads and upgrades for your body, clearing any non-beneficial aspects and allowing the evolution process. This is where if you do dowsing, you can use this information in dowsing too. So let's just talk about this some more. Imagine the brain as like a ballet. So the brain's ballet. Our brain's visual processing system is akin to a speed relay race. There's a ballet going on. Neurons pass the baton, transmitting information from our eyes to the deeper brain regions. But when two stimuli arrive in rapid succession, like sprinters crossing the finish line simultaneously, the relay may falter. The brain stumbles, if you will, momentarily unable to process both. And this came as a surprise to the team of Vanderbilt psychologists who discovered the phenomenon while studying the benefits of attention. So when your attention shifts from one place to another, your brain blinks. Y'all, your brain blinks. The blinks are momentary unconscious gaps in visual perception. Attentional blinks are a phenomenon that occur when the brain is unable to process two stimuli presented in rapid, quick succession, leading to a temporary lapse in awareness. This effect can significantly impact our cognitive performance and attention. So there is a growing body of evidence to suggest the multisensory processing changes also in connection with advancing age. And there's also a connection then they talk also about they talk about the temporal binding window. So let's just unveil some more science. So temporal binding window, which I'm putting this in because again, if you're doing dowsing or any kind of energy work or anything in terms of meditation, setting intentions, once you have the consciousness in the human, you can ask then the spirit doctor team for the highest good to help you. You can ask for things to be cleared. You can also ask then to rejuvenate, to, download, upgrade systems for the highest good, download wisdom, upgrade systems for the highest good. You can also ask for, if you do brain balancing, you can also ask brain balancing in dowsing. There's a lot of aspects that you can use this information. And so one of the things that, my guides in, my team of light works with me on is how to make information beneficially actionable in the actualization process. Because if you just get information and it just stays as information and you're not it's just data, but you're not actually doing anything in the self-realization, actualization process, then it's just information. And there's nothing in physical reality where you're working with it to support in terms of learning, growing, evolving. So that is why I'm bringing in some of this information in connection to, energy healing meditations and specifically mindfulness meditation. So temporal binding window. Neuroscientists also talk about the temporal binding window, which, by the way, before this, I didn't even know. I was like, temporal binding window, what is that? So the temporal binding window, within this narrow slice of time, our brains synchronizes incoming stimuli. Miss the window, and the second stimulus remains backstage unseen. So if stimuli occur outside this window, they may not be perceived as part of the same event, leading to a fragmented experience. Like, wow, people, that information. So if you are in an experience with somebody and two people experience it vastly different, curiosity, what's really going on here? Is there something happening then where a person is in a temporal binding window, or, because if the stimuli occur outside the window, they may not perceived as part of the same event, leading to a fragmented experience. Was there a fragmented experience? And with that, then for me, I'm like, do we need to do soul retrieval? Because that can help you in terms of clearing the fragmented pieces and bringing back into wholeness. Very interesting, or at least I think so. This is where I kind of, y'all, I love learning. I totally geek out and nerd out on learning. All right, neural resources. Attentional blinks occur because our neural resources, like a limited budget, get allocated elsewhere. The brain juggles tasks, allocating attention to the most urgent. So when two stimuli collide, resources thin out and awareness blinks. What? So this can result in, as I mentioned, the second stimulus, affecting attention and cognitive performance. So, okay, with that, y'all, if you're getting impatient with a loved one, a friend who seem to have missed the point of a conversation, and you seem to be in different consciousness states or experiences, y'all, maybe the brain blinked. Maybe the brain blinked. And maybe that's what's going on here. That's why bringing in compassion, loving kindness, awareness, patience, using tools daily, also understanding what's going on with the brain, also gut health, and also in regard to the cosmic energies. Y'all, we are multidimensional. Multidimensional. So let yourself then, understand, like, okay, what is it that I need? And using those tools, because let's talk about like why it matters. Why it matters. Impaired focus. Frequent attentional blanks can lead to difficulties in concentrating on tasks, reducing overall cognitive efficiency, cognitive decline. And I know if anyone is like, oh, uncomfortable with this, y'all write that down, and then in your energy work, ask for it to be cleared and bring in the wisdom, or maybe something needs to be processed in terms of the fear, and then once you've processed it, bring in the wisdom. And then once the emotions, completed, asking the light to come in, bringing any other wisdom. But if you're getting uncomfortable in this conversation, stay for it, because this might be exactly what you possibly need to understand, maybe for yourself or someone else, because aging is a part of our being here. We age. And so how can we bring a different relationship to aging? So let's talk about, in aging individuals, increased attentional blinks can signal declining cognitive abilities and may contribute to conditions like dementia. Said another way, and not to bring fear, but awareness, letting go of being afraid to age, calling in grace and using tools, enjoying the process no matter what age we are in. So as we age, these blinks can amplify. They can whisper about cognitive decline, hinting in memory lapses and mental agility slipping through our fingers. And that is why also being open to working with different practitioners. So, and as you all know, I'm an equal opportunist when it comes to health practitioners, whether it is, our medical profession or working with different healing modalities. I'm an equal opportunist of what's going to support me for the highest good. All right. So then there could be a decrease in memory retention. So if the brain is unable to fully process information due to attentional lapses, it can negatively impact memory formation and recall. Attentional blinks create gaps in memory formation. So with that, like information may slip away. So addressing attentional blinks can improve focus, memory, and cognitive health, particularly as we age. Y'all. As somebody who's in her early 50s, I'm on this to help my human age gracefully. So this is how psychologists define attention. Attention is the ability to actively process specific information in the environment while tuning out other details. Attention is limited in terms of both capacity and duration, so it's important to have ways to effectively manage the attentional resources we have available in order to make sense of the world. Some experts suggest also that attentional blinks serve as a way to help the brain ignore distractions and focus on processing the first target. When an event occurs, the brain may need time to process it before it can move on to the next event. If a second event occurs during this critical time of processing time, it will simply be missed. So, with that, there are a few different theories that seek to explain attentional blink. So, there's also another one, inhibition theory suggests the perceptual confusion occurs during the process of identifying targets, resulting in an attention gap. Interference theory brings in that when different things competing for our attention, we may end up focusing on the wrong target. Another popular theory is that the two-stage processing theory. According to this idea, processing a series of items involving two different stages. The first stage involves noticing the targets, while the second stage involves actually processing the items so they can be reported. Regardless, though, of the current state of scientific theories, we can harness the valuable information. Not only does this apply to dowsing, if you douse, where we can investigate and address imbalances, but also to mindful Reiki meditation. By practicing mindful approach, we support health, cognitive well-being, and overall physical health, and really showing up to support our human. I mean, and y'all, with all of that, I was like, oh, yeah, now I understand why the guides many, many years ago, as I was moving through trauma of working in television, were also at the same time like, hey, let's get you into mindfulness meditation. Let's let you start, really understanding this aspect. And now I get it on a whole nother level. And I also understand probably how in learning some of these tools, how this has probably benefited me in ways that I probably didn't even understand as I was moving through extremely stressful environments in television, how I was being just, nurtured and helped. And I was helping my brain function, helping my body function in ways that I didn't even understand, even though I was going through extreme states of stress at that time. But in being guided and doing the meditation, it probably helped me out more than I even understood. And now I get it even more like, oh, wow, that is why the guides talk about layering different types of meditation and really, if I'm doing chanting, having moments then of doing mindfulness meditation either before and after the chanting. So that way, before the chanting, really coming into groundedness and then doing the chanting, and then afterwards allowing then, just to integrate those aspects of being able to, work with the mind and the brain and the mindfulness approach as well. So, with that, my friends, what we're going to do is we are going to do a 15-minute mindful Reiki energy meditation, because they say in order to a meditation practice can be beneficial for the brain, also for ADHD and overall focus improvement. And they recommend doing between 15 and 17 minutes daily. That's right, people, daily. And so if you are in so this is going to be for everyone, but if you are in my Patreon for the Inspiring You Patreon for the levels of the Meditate with Me, All Access, and the Art of Dowsing, I'm going to be doing more 15-minute meditations, so that way you can join me in this, because y'all, let us help our brain and our cognitive functioning. Let's do this. And so today we're going to do a 15-minute mindful Reiki meditation, where basically we're going to be sitting quietly, our eyes are closed, and we're going to be then focusing on the interception, being aware of our internal state, like breathing, bodily sensations. And again, this meditation isn't to coerce the mind into any particular state, but really just encouraging the natural attention to internal cues. And it is a really simple practice that can significantly improve one's ability to focus, and also, my friends, may reduce attentional blinks, which then can enhance attention consistency. So it's beneficial also for adults and children, and it can be a powerful tool to rewire the brain's attentional circuitry even after just one session. So we're going to do a 15-minute mindful Reiki meditation method aiming at enhancing focus, reducing attentional blinks. So with that, my friends, I'm going to invite you to find a comfortable position, either laying down or seated. Find that comfortable position, either laying down or seated. Ensuring minimal visual distractions. Gently close your eyes to reduce external visual input. And for your body posture, just find a comfortable position. Sit comfortably with your back straight. You can be on a chair or on the floor, as long as you feel relaxed and at ease. And then for your breathing awareness, direct your attention to your breathing. Notice the sensation of the air entering and leaving your nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest, or the movement of your diaphragm. And as you are doing this, I'm going to invite Reiki energy healing. We like to layer modalities here. Inviting Reiki energy healing in, asking anybody who wishes to receive Reiki, let them receive Reiki for their highest good. So if you wish to receive, say, yes, I'd like to receive Reiki for my highest good. So you're in the breathing awareness, directing your attention to your breathing as well, noticing the sensation of the air entering and leaving your nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest, of the movement of your diaphragm. And then the interception, we're focusing on the interception as well, being aware of your internal bodily sensations. This could also be called a body scan. This could include your contact points with the chair, the floor, your heartbeat, or any other subtle bodily feelings. If your mind drifts, or when your mind drifts, inevitably drifts, gently bring your attention back to your breathing and your internal sensations without judgment. This is the mindfulness part. Following your breath in, following your breath out if you wish to. The key aspects of this meditation is to consistently bring your attention back to your internal state. This interceptive focus can significantly enhance your ability to maintain and reduce distractions over time, even if it's just one session. So, with that, I'm going to be quiet as you are now following your breath in, following your breath out, noticing the sensations of the air entering and leaving your nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest, the movements of your diaphragm. Focus on your interception, being aware of your internal bodily sensations. This could be your contact points with the chair, the floor, your heartbeat, any other subtle bodily feelings. If your mind drifts, it's okay. Just gently bring your attention back to your breathing and your internal sensations, doing that with loving kindness. And so now let's continue the practice, and I'll be quiet as we do this. Okay, take a nice deep breath now. Taking a moment to give gratitude for the healing, for where you are now, bringing your attention back to this experience, taking note how you're feeling. Maybe you feel lighter, more grounded. Maybe your brain has shifted and feeling more rejuvenated. There's a lot of possibilities. Take a moment to check in and take another deep breath. And then before we go, we always want to delink. So say this after me if this resonates with you. I asked to release from this meditation group. I asked to delink from this meditation group. I asked to delink from this podcast episode. I asked to delink. I asked to break the Reiki links, leaving only harmony and balance at either ends. I also asked to clear any residual energies being held in my body as a result of these links. I asked that light Reiki fill the void, cells, rejuvenates, refreshes, revitalizes, pour my highest good with ease and grace. And so it is. And so it is. May peace be with all of you. Thank you so much for joining me. And I would love to hear how you are feeling. So please leave a comment. Please, if you are on YouTube, please like this, follow, subscribe. If you're on the podcast, please do the same. If you are in my Patreon Inspiring You group, please, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave comments, share. And if you are in the Inspiring You Patreon group, y'all, we're going to be doing more of this. We're going to just go right into the meditation though. So please join me for that as well. Much love, my friends.